Have you ever found yourself unable to stop thinking about someone who's no longer in your life? The thoughts keep circling, and no matter how hard you try to move on, they just won't let go. What if I told you that this constant mental loop isn't a sign of weakness or insanity, but a natural response to unresolved emotions and the need for closure? Stick around, because in this video, we're going to explore why this happens and how you can take control of your thoughts to finally break free. In this video, we will explore why it's so difficult to stop thinking about someone who has left your life and why this experience, while challenging, is not an indication of anything being wrong with you. Rather, it's a deeply human experience that many of us face during pivotal emotional transitions. We'll look at the psychological factors at play, and, most importantly, how you can take control of your thoughts and begin the healing process through self-love, personal growth, and emotional understanding. Before we get into the specifics, if you find this video helpful, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. It helps us reach more people who might need to hear this message. Let's get started. 1. Understanding the emotional impact of loss. When we think about someone who's no longer a part of our lives, especially if they left in a way that left us feeling abandoned, betrayed, or confused, it's easy to dismiss our feelings as something that needs to be fixed. We might tell ourselves to just get over it or move on, but the reality is that our emotions are not so easily dismissed. The emotional impact of losing someone we care deeply about often runs much deeper than we initially realize. Think about it this way. Emotions are not just fleeting reactions. They're signals from within that help us make sense of the world around us. When we lose someone, especially someone we were attached to in a significant way, we're not just grieving the loss of their presence. We're also processing the emotional bond we shared, the trust, the vulnerability, and the connection that we invested in. These emotions are powerful, and they don't simply vanish overnight. They need time to be understood, processed, and healed. For many of us, the thoughts of the person we've lost are a reflection of this emotional processing. It's like an unresolved conversation that our minds keep replaying, searching for closure. This mental loop is natural and not an indicator of personal weakness or something wrong with you. Rather, it's an emotional response to an unresolved emotional attachment. 2. Psychological reasons behind these persistent thoughts. Now, let's dig deeper into the psychological reasons why these thoughts can become so persistent. One of the primary reasons we continue to think about someone long after they've left is due to emotional attachment. Attachment is a fundamental aspect of human relationships, and it plays a critical role in how we bond with others. This attachment is particularly strong in romantic relationships, but it can also apply to friendships and family connections. When a relationship ends, especially if the emotional bond was strong, the brain struggles to adjust. The attachment we form doesn't simply dissolve just because the person is no longer physically present. Our minds need time to process the emotional detachment, and until that happens, the person we were once connected to may remain an active thought in our minds. Additionally, there's the psychological factor of needing closure. Closure is a term we hear often in the realm of relationships. But what does it actually mean? Closure is not necessarily something that the other person can give you. It's something that comes from within. When we're left without clear answers or understanding of why the relationship ended, our minds fill in the gaps. Often, we find ourselves playing out scenarios in our heads, searching for something that can explain the situation or help us feel complete. These thoughts can be tied to the need for validation. Perhaps we're looking for reassurance that we were worthy of love, that we were good enough, or that we didn't make mistakes that led to the breakup. All of these thoughts stem from a need to heal emotional wounds. It's a process, but it's one that requires patience and self-compassion. Segment 3. The importance of emotional healing and personal growth. Now that we understand why these thoughts persist, the next question is, how do we stop the mental loop and reclaim our energy? The answer lies in emotional healing and personal growth. The first step is understanding that healing is not a linear process. It doesn't happen in a day, a week, or even a month. It's a gradual process that requires both self-awareness and self-compassion. A critical aspect of this healing process is focusing on self-love. Self-love is not just a buzzword, it's an essential part of reclaiming your emotional energy and beginning the journey toward emotional independence. When we are so focused on someone else, especially someone who has left our lives, we are giving away our emotional power. We are constantly looking outside of ourselves for answers, validation, and healing. But the truth is that healing starts from within. The more you invest in yourself, the more you begin to shift your focus away from the past and toward your own growth. This can involve things like developing new hobbies, exploring your passions, setting personal goals, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you. Taking care of your physical health also plays a crucial role in emotional healing. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, and adequate sleep can all contribute to a positive shift in your mental and emotional state. When you start to prioritize yourself in these ways, you signal to your mind that you are worthy of care, attention, and love. Segment 4. Breaking free from the mental loop. While emotional healing and self-love are essential, we also need practical strategies to break free from the mental loop of constantly thinking about someone who's no longer in our lives. One of the most effective strategies is practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being present in the moment without judgment or resistance. It's about acknowledging your thoughts without letting them control you. When you catch yourself thinking about the person, instead of trying to push the thought away, acknowledge it. You might say to yourself, "I'm thinking about them, and that's okay. But I'm choosing to let this thought go because I deserve to focus on my own well-being right now." This simple act of awareness can help break the cycle of ruminating thoughts and give you back control of your mind. Another effective method is reframing your thoughts. Rather than focusing on the loss or the emotional void left by the person, try to shift your perspective. What did you learn from the relationship? How did it help you grow? What strengths have you developed as a result of the experience? By reframing the narrative, you empower yourself to view the situation as a chapter in your life that contributed to your personal development. Segment 5. The power of closure and emotional freedom. Finally, let's discuss closure, an often misunderstood concept. Closure is not something that comes from the other person. It comes from within. It's the ability to make peace with the past and let go of the emotional attachment that binds you to someone who is no longer a part of your life. Closure means accepting that the relationship, whatever its form, has ended and that it's okay to move forward. To achieve closure, you must first acknowledge the emotional attachment and give yourself permission to grieve. It's only when we allow ourselves to feel the emotions fully that we can begin to release them. And this is not something that happens overnight. It's a journey, and each day you take small steps toward healing. Remember that closure is not about getting answers from the other person. It's about finding peace within yourself. It's about recognizing that your worth is not defined by the other person's presence in your life, and that you are more than enough as you are. Conclusion. In conclusion, if you're struggling to stop thinking about someone who has left your life, know that you are not alone. The thoughts you are experiencing are a natural and normal response to emotional attachment and the need for closure. It's not a sign of weakness or instability. Rather, it's a reflection of your human experience and your emotional growth. By focusing on self-love, practicing mindfulness, and allowing yourself the time and space to heal, you can break free from the mental loops and start reclaiming your energy. Remember that closure comes from within, and the power to heal is always in your hands. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share it with anyone who might need this message. Take care of yourselves, and remember, the path to healing begins with the decision to prioritize your own well-being. Thanks for watching.